Alrighty, guys. Happy Tuesday to everybody. You know, after watching Texas for the last couple of days, the first thing you come away with is how impressed you are with their personnel. This is a big football team and a talented football team that improved from week 1 to week 2, and that's what you expect from a Tom Herman group. I've always been ultra impressed and respect Coach Herman for a brilliant offensive mind, whether it was at Ohio State or whether it was at Houston, and now at Texas. You see what he's doing. He's averaging 48 points a game already. He's putting up over 500 yards of offense a game, and really has some skilled players that can do his system and do his system well. Looking at last week's game, I thought that Coach really focused on the run game. They kind of found their identity, rushing for over 400 yards for San Jose State with Warren and with Porter, and I thought did a good job of bringing Hurd into as kind of a wildcat quarterback and doing a nice job. Have one of the premier offensive left tackles in the country in Connor Williams, and this is an athletic offensive line watching on tape. With Shane and Sam at quarterback, you know, they're really similar guys. They can both spin it. They have enough athleticism to move the chains and to create, so I don't think you have to have two different game plans here. Both are talented quarterbacks. Whichever one plays in the game, we'll have a plan for, but they are both very similar, and both have performed well in the opening 2 games. At wideout, I've been impressed with Foreman and Colin Johnson. You know, in Foreman, you're looking at a speed guy. They like to do speed sweeps, perimeter, and he can push the field vertically. And then you look at Colin. We know him. We recruited him. Northern California kid, great family, and he's a bigger body. He's a 6'6" kid that really brings a physical nature on fade routes, on slants. He knows how to outfight people for the ball. Defensively, have the utmost respect for Todd Orlando. Probably maybe one of the bigger pressure guys in the country. Loves the blitz package, and the bigger the game, the more pressure that seems to come. You saw what he did last year. We watched the game versus Oklahoma and the game versus Louisville when he was there, and how much pressure he brought in that game, and he's done it right off the bat. You saw it last week, doing a terrific job at holding teams to 326 yards a game. Personally, I think this team is going to be, under Coach Herman, is going to be a sleeping giant. They're going to be one of those teams that you're going to look up that's going to get better and better and better each and every week, and it's going to be a challenge for us, and we got to play our best game because it's our next game. Injury-wise, we held Chuma today for that wrist that he fell on. We'll see where that is at tomorrow. We held John Houston today for, you know, got a stinger in the game and has some neck stiffness, so we held him today. Porter inside doing rehab on a shoulder and a toe. I'll give you more information as the week goes on. And then obviously Daniel was out today trying to improve that hip and groin area. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Can you talk a little bit about who's backing up Chase's field goal? What your
Yeah, yeah. You know, we've had Reed Budrovich back there, who's our punter, but has also worked both with kickoffs and with field goals over the past couple of years. So he's our backup right now, doing a nice job. He's more than adequate to do the job if needed.
How did Porter hurt his shoulder?
Hurt it in the game. He hurt it in the game and actually played through it. Was really sore yesterday. He's got a toe too, and both are being evaluated, and it's day to day.
Did Porter end up getting the MRI on Sunday night?
He got the MRI on the shoulder, and they're looking at the toe today, and we'll see where that's at. I'll give you more info tomorrow.
With Daniel, is there any concern about it going through the season?
Yeah, you know, I really don't have a crystal ball with this one. It's a strange injury that, you know, at that position where he's so skilled and has to change direction, both blocking and running routes. It just doesn't feel right, and so we finally just decided to make the investment to shut him down until he's 100%. So he's going to rehab, whether that takes 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a season. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of John. When we had John Houston's back, and we decided to make that investment to get him 100% right. I know we've got great doctors and great physicians that will get him back as soon as we can, but I just don't have a crystal ball.
Do they know exactly what it is?
They've MRI'd it several times, and it's a strain of a muscle that just has not gotten better. It doesn't look like a tear as far as an MRI. It's one of those things that's been nagging. It's like having a bad hamstring. It just keeps on nagging and hasn't got healthy yet. And we've pushed and tried to get it there, but now it's just time to get 100% healthy.
How does Toa's experience at center manifest at left tackle when he's able to recognize pressures and games and whatnot?
Yeah, I think it helps you be even more football instinctive, because you think about the center position and having to make all those calls, making the calls across the line. And when you've done that in your career, it just helps you as an offensive tackle. You kind of play the play in your mind before it even starts. And so I tell you what, 50's playing great football right now. We knew he would. His athleticism is really shining at the left tackle position, but I do think the experience, the reps at multiple positions is really helping him this year.
I'd imagine there might be some instances on Saturday where it's him against Malik Jefferson, a guy whose athleticism has been on the radar for a while. What stands out about Malik?
The first thing is he plays in other people's backfield, and that's what you saw last week. And as good a pursuit guy as you'll see chasing the ball, ultra athletic, and it'll be a challenge. We've got two, and he'll be on both sides. Sometimes he's to the field, sometimes he's boundary, sometimes he's strength. To strength, it's one of those deals that both tackles will have a task.
On that 50-something yard run by Steven, the combo block with Chris and Toa, did you have a sense of how big it was before you watched the tape?
When you see it from the sideline, you knew that was going to have to be the block that sprung it, because we kind of controlled the defensive end and the corner with the fly motion that we used. And the other thing that got lost in it, I really thought Josh Fowler did an unbelievable job of sealing the defensive end, but we really felt that the space would come from the combination block between those two individuals. And really, when Toa went to go combination, Chris had already handled it. I mean, he washed it down so far that Toa there was nobody there for him. And so I thought Chris played by far his best game since being a Trojan. Really proud of him. And he's really coming into his own.
With Sam, it looked like he moved a lot better. I know you said you didn't really say anything about moving, but what determines how well he's able to move?
He's always been such I thought twofold. One, T did a good job of moving on some created movement plays, getting outside the pocket, but also his ability to feel the rush, break, contain. I have always appreciated him keeping his eyes downfield. I think that's what great quarterbacks do, is not look to run, but choose to keep your eyes downfield, see if anything's open. If it is, take that advantage shot. If not, then get what's there and get down. And he did a great job in that game of keeping his eyes downfield multiple times and finding open receivers.
Rojo said he kind of wishes the game were being played in Austin. Are you happy it's being played at the Coliseum?
I happen to be a very big fan of the Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. Our fans in the first two games have been electric. They've helped us in both games, and you could feel the electricity and the vibe in that stadium last Saturday. And now there's going to be even more fans. We're expecting to sell out for this game, so it's going to be a really neat atmosphere. But Los Angeles has been very good for this football team, so I'm glad we're here.
Can you talk about what you've seen from Stephen Carr?
Just explosiveness. Every time he touches the ball, he kind of holds your breath. He reminds me a lot of Ronald when he was a freshman. Kind of don't know which direction he's going, but every time he touches it, you're like, wow, something good happens. But he's really coming into his own. He's picked up the playbook extremely well. He's obviously a dynamic runner. I've been so impressed with him, his natural ball skills out of the backfield, and he's learning how to be a pass protector. He's not all the way there yet. That's probably the biggest growth for him, where his ceiling will be. But there's no doubt in my mind the guy's going to be an every down back. I mean, he's going to be a special kid.
When you have Notre Dame always on the schedule and a 9-game conference schedule all locked in, what place do you feel like these home and homes or these neutral games against Alabama or Texas have in the playoff here, kind of moving forward?
Yeah, when you look at us in a playoff system world, you better create a great resume. That's what I love about SC. You're going to look up, you're going to play 9 Pac-12 conference games. You're going to play Notre Dame. You're going to play Texas. You're going to play in Alabama. You're going to play even in Western Michigan, coming off 13 wins. You're going to play quality opponents, and you're going to build a resume that if you do your job, there's no question that you should be one of those 4 teams. I hope I never look up and there's a question mark about, what about their strength of schedule? Because I really feel that we do a good job here with the nine Pac-12 conference games and Notre Dame. And the administration has always done a nice job of placing those in the schools.
Mark, a couple of the players talked about beating Stanford and how you got the monkey off their back. I just wondered for you, when the new week starts, do you ever think, like, I need to make sure that they're not complacent?
Each week is like a blank slate to me. I go totally new and focus on that 1 week and try. And I know it's coach talk, but it's true. I mean, you're just trying to go 1-0. You take the lessons from last week that you learned, try to get better from them, and apply it to the next week. And I really liked how this team came out today and how they practiced. It felt like last Tuesday. They're here for a purpose, and we talked about this game is so important for obviously a lot of reasons. For our fans, it's important, but for our football team, it's a huge step forward in our season. We talked about starting fast in September, and this is that next step. Coming off a big win just like last year at Washington, and then going into an emotional game at UCLA. Well, here's a big win at Stanford, and you're coming into an emotional game with Texas. So hopefully this team learned some valuable lessons from our experience, and we can push that forward.
Okay.
All righty, guys.